Just the other day, a client called me and said, "Hey, Tad, I got a DWI. I was wrong. I want to come in. I want to plea out. Can you just help do that for me?" And I told him no. I said, "Why don't you come on down to the office and let's talk about it?" And I'll tell you why I told him that. Number one, nobody needs a DWI on your record. There's so many things that could come with it. It could have fines. It can have license suspensions. There could even be jail time, probation. It could have insurance ramifications. Lord knows if you're a student, it could affect your scholarship or any other kind of things that might be involved with that. If you have employment, it might affect your ability to stay employed, especially if you drive for that employment. There's just numerous things that can come with it. So I got to talking with this guy, and I wanted to explain with him, especially on a first-time DWI. First off, the first thing you should do is go get good counsel. And I can tell you, it's so important, because if the DWI can be beaten, you should make an effort at it, because you can eliminate all those things we just talked about. The second reason you need to talk to a DWI before you just say, "Hey, I'm going to plea out to it," is there's some opportunities to get a couple things that might keep this DWI off your record. All the counties around Houston, Galveston, Brazoria, Chambers, Fort Bend, there's opportunities to do pretrial diversion programs, and a diversion program is something that could keep this DWI off your record. It's kind of like double secret probation. There's also deferred adjudications for DWI. Again, avoiding a final conviction and maybe getting a non-disclosure to keep that off your record. So no matter what you're charged with, don't belittle it. Don't think a DWI first is not something that's important. It is. A second DWI is even more important than a first DWI, and I'll tell you why that is. Because once you plea out to a second DWI, or even if some lawyer tells you it's okay that we're going to plea that second DWI to a second first DWI, both of those situations would mean your next time to be arrested for a DWI, that's going to be a felony. And like we've talked about in other videos, felonies are just horrible to have on your record. A felony could result in pen time, going to take away your voting privileges. Lord knows if you have a license, a TWIC card, maybe even some kind of a real estate board. If you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, you're going to have all kinds of ramifications if you get a felony. Teachers are going to lose their jobs. Whenever you're dealing with a felony, monster problems, major problems. That's why that second DWI, you got to make sure you get a lawyer at that time. If there's any way to avoid a conviction on a DWI second, you need to hire a good lawyer that can do anything they can to avoid that, because the next one up is a felony, and that one's huge. This is one of the main reasons why at my firm we stress that even though a DWI first might seem inconsequential because the fines are so minor and you can get a 6-month probation and it's only a Class B misdemeanor, DWIs are different than other Class B misdemeanors. They hang around, they don't go away. They kind of build on each other, and they can make your life worse in the future. It's going to be a lot easier to fight a DWI first than it is going to be to fight a felony. So just recently, I just got retained by a client on a felony DWI. So I started talking to him. He was my age, 60 years old. I started asking him about when his prior DWIs were. He had one when he was 22 and one when he was 25. Wow. The fact that they're that old from the 90s doesn't change the fact that this one is a felony. Back in the 90s, nobody thought twice about, hey, they seem minor, they seem small potatoes. But the reality of it is, anytime you have prior DWI convictions, they're going to accumulate. That third one is going to be a felony, and once you have a felony charge, it comes with very real consequences. So if you have any kind of DWI charges pending against you, first, second, felony DWI charges, come see us. Let's at least talk through it. Let's see if we can find a defense and see if we can find a way to make sure you don't get another DWI conviction. No matter what you're charged with, it's so imperative that you get good counsel. If you need our help, let us help you.